Welcome back. Now it's time for part 2 of every Splatoon song reference. Previous video is in the description. Ready, set, go. Now let's go on to the Splatbands. I'm going to be doing this part a little bit differently though. Most of the members' names have little or no special meaning, or have obvious references, so I'll only focus on the names that I personally think are really interesting. I'm also only going to be focusing on the English Splatband names because I personally think it's redundant to go for the Japanese ones. If you want to learn more about the Japanese names, I'll link a video by Rassicus in the top corner and in the description. Now, without further ado, let's start off with... Squid Squad's name is about as vanilla as it gets. It's a bunch of squids in a squad. Shocking, I know. Also, one of the members isn't even a squid, so Splat Attack is one of, if not the most iconic Splatoon song, and it's simply a portmanteau of splat and attack. Ink and sink comes from the phrase swim or sink. However, the phrase is supposed to be sink or swim, so it kinda pisses me off. Seascape is another one of my favourite names. The name is a pun on seascape, which means view of the sea. However, something that the wiki didn't mention until I added it is that the song is ska styled. Ska is a Jamaican music genre that is considered to be the precursor to reggae and rocksteady. I may not know shit about music besides what does and doesn't sound good, but listening to almost any ska song I can definitely hear the resemblance to it and Seascape. Cracking up is a reference to cracking up, like laughing. And finally, Metalopod is simply another portmanteau of metal and cephalopod, referencing the metal style of the song. Here are the names of the members. If you're wondering why I'm not saying their name, it's because I'm pretty sure I'm going to summon a demon if I mispronounce any more Japanese names today, so I'm just going to put the names on the screen. Chirpy Chips is our next band to look at. The name most likely refers to the sound of their music. Chips is most likely short for chiptune, which is the style of their music, and Chirpy references birds chirping. Remember how I said I'd only mention names if they were really interesting? Well, whoever localized the Japanese name clearly liked Chirpy Chips because these guys got some real good names in my opinion. Sid's name is likely based on a 6581 sound interface device, which is a sound generator that is used on a lot of chiptuners. Orion's name is probably a reference to Orion software, and their shirt is also an obvious Pink Floyd reference, and Clash is most likely a reference to the 70s British punk rock band, The Clash. As for the names, Shelfie is a pun on selfie, split and splat basically means to splat your opponent and run, I think. Blitz It probably refers to needing to push forward in order to win a match, and Wave Prism, well, the wave part is obvious, but I'm personally not really sure about the prism part. If you know what it means, please tell me in the comments. Anyways, here are the musicians. Ah yes, my personal favourite splat band baby, Hightide Era. Their name, you know what, I might as well just copy what the Tumblr post says. The name of the band, Hightide Era, refers to both the full and grim nature of the group's sound and also the ecological realities of the world they live in. Hightide is the only band that hasn't received any localized names. I don't know if they forgot or if they didn't see a need to change perfection. Anyways, hooked simply refers to fish hooks and how the listener obviously gets hooked in the song, and sucker punch is probably a reference to sucker punches in boxing and the sucker fish. The only artist that's named in the wiki is COK. By the way, while it's not been officially confirmed, there have been many that have speculated that the clothes worn by the members bears resemblance to the clothes worn by Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day. I don't know about you, but I would love for Hightide Era to come back with 21 Splashamatics. Of all of the bands in Splatoon, Wet Floor sure is one of them. The name references wet floor signs and their logo kind of resembles one too. Two of the members' names are direct references to their species. Neil is an eel and Candy is a candy crab. Now for the names of the songs. Incoming is a pun on incoming, so that one is obvious. What's less obvious, however, is Rip Entry. I used to think that it was a song referencing death, but I actually found out that a rip entry is simply a diving technique that reduces the amount of ripples created upon contact with water. An undertow, according to Oxford, oh yeah, we're referencing Oxford now, bitches, a current of water below the surface moving in a different direction from any surface current. Don't slip. Yeah. And finally, endorphin surge is a reference to endorphins, which are chemicals in the body that increase pleasure, usually from exercise. This is most likely a reference to the excitement felt during a battle. These are the singers and musicians. Oh, and one more little interesting fact. There are actually a few understandable lyrics spoken by Riley, featuring lines like ink or sink and Splatoon. Next up, we get two of the most polarizing Splatbands to ever exist, Bottom Feeders and Ink Fury. The feeders' name is a reference to marine animals which are close to the bottom of the lake and scavenge food. In Japan, the names of all of the members end with bottom. For some reason in the English version it was changed to feeder.
Oh, hell no, man. What?
I don't know why they made this change or if it was a mistake, but whatever. The names of their songs are rather straightforward. Starting with Seafoam Shanty. A shanty is a song often sung by sailors with an alternating chorus. A good example is a song called Drunken Sailor, which I will play right now.
What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning?
Fins and Fiddles is a reference to the fiddle used in all the feeders' songs, and fin being a reference to fish fins. It could also be a reference to the main fiddler's name, which is Fin Feeder. And finally, shipwrecking refers to, get this, shipwrecks. Yeah, I know, surprising. Anyways, here are the credited musicians. Ink Fury is next. I'm putting my personal feelings on the band aside for now.
Fury is garbage.
Let's talk about them. The band name is most likely a reference to music theory or jazz theory. The name of one of the members actually has a pretty cool meaning. Zuzu, whose name is a reference to the fact that she plays the kazoo. And this is one of the only times I'm going to mention the Japan names, by the way, so anyways. In Japan, she's named BB, and canonically all her fans call her Queen BB, which is probably a reference to Beyonce and how most of her fans call her Queen B. Broken coral likely refers to a broken chord in music, and coral refers to the marine animal of the same name. Riptide rupture references strong moving water created by two currents suddenly stopping. Next we get Despair. The name is a very obvious pun on the word despair, as well as the fact that the two of them are a pair. However, this can also be short for dissonance, as these two do not get along at all. The names of both the songs reference sicknesses. Kinesiosis is another name given to motion sickness, and seasick, yeah, that's pretty obvious. One last little bit of trivia that I want to talk about is that in the Japanese family versus friends dialogue, Marina apparently confirms that she's actually friends with Warabi/Mashup. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Despair makes an appearance in Side Order, but hey, maybe that's just wishful thinking. On to Sashimori. The name comes from sashimi moriase, which is a Japanese delicacy. None of the members have any direct references in English. However, and this is my personal theory, Myron Ronnie Swamp's name kind of reminds me of Ronnie James Dio, who is the guitarist for Rainbow, but maybe I'm just stretching. Anyways, Chop Screw references Chopped and Screwed, which is a hip hop technique, as well as referencing Chop Suey, which is a Chinese American dish. It may also be a reference to the System of a Down song of the same name. Entropical is a portmanteau of entropy and tropical. Entropy means a lack of order and predictability, which may reference the bizarre lyrics of the song. Here are the musicians. Alright, next on we move to one of my favourite bands, Seaside. And just like how Till Death Do Us Part was one of my favourite song names, Seaside is one of my favourite band names. The name references the two sides of a cassette tape and gramophone. You see, studios would often record two or more versions of a song, and sometimes both versions will be made public. The version that is preferred by the studio and the singer will often go on the A-side album. This is the version that is often played on the radio. The B-side features alternate recordings that aren't intended to be as popular as the main A-side versions of the song. The use of A-side and B-sides are no longer needed due to the fact that we can now download or stream both versions of a song at our own will, but some artists still choose to use the term C-side in their album names or songs. Oh yeah, and C-side also references the seaside, aka the beach, and it might also reference the fact that C is the third letter of the alphabet, which is fitting our Splatoon 3's theme of adding threes to everything. The members of the band currently do not have names, however, there was a name that was kinda sort of leaked, but we don't even know if that name's actually official. I'll just put that name on screen anyway. Yeah, I'll also add them in the pinned comment once they truly get confirmed. Anyways, for the song names, clickbait is a reference to fish bait that fishermen use, as well as being a reference to the common internet term referring to intentionally misleading or exaggerating content in an attempt to secure more views. Paint scraper simply refers to scraping paint off a wall. It may also be a reference to a lot of rock song names. One that immediately comes to my mind is Ball Breaker by AC/DC. Anyways, Head Hammer is a reference to the hammerhead shark. However, since you also hit things with a hammer, it could also be a reference to Headbanger. Splat Attack is the exact same as the original song it's based on, so there's nothing to really say here. And Triple Dip can mean a lot of things. Now, first of all, we have the Urban Dictionary definition, and yeah, let's hope that's not what it means. Triple dipping is also an artist technique which refers to the paint theme, and it could also be a reference to the 3 shrimp dogs held by the presumably female fish character, since you often dip shrimp into sauce before eating it. Here are the musicians. Oh, and similar to Incoming, the song features some vague English lyrics, more specifically in Paint Scraper, which features lines that sound similar to and Front Row is a cool name, and they have some pretty cool songs too. The name is both a reference to the front row of a concert, and a row is a name given to a bunch of eggs that are often unfertilized. 3 of the 4 members are from Squid Squad, so there's no explanation needed for their names, and the 4th member, yep, no name for that guy. So yeah, I'll add it in the pinned comment once he gets added. See Me Now is a reference to See Me Now, pretty obvious, and Sunny Side Up is a reference to Sunny Side Up, which is a method of preparing eggs, which involves only frying one side while leaving the yolk on the top. Sunny has of course been replaced by Sandy, obviously referring to Sun on the beach. No confirmed musicians, however, since Takeuchi voiced Ichiya before, we can assume that he probably did it again. Finally, we get to Damp Socks. The name is a reference to damp socks. Besides Pearl and Marina, we don't know any of the names of the members, and yeah, pin comment. And even more bad news, I can't find any deeper meaning to candy coated rocks besides sweet tasting candy. Ugh, jeez. Maybe it might be a reference to salty rocks, like the salty rocks you find in the sea. I don't know. Just please somebody tell me in the comment section. I am so lost. Anyways, yeah, tentacle to the metal is a very obvious reference to the phrase pedal to the metal, which can obviously mean to charge into battle. No musicians have been confirmed, however, we can assume that Pearl and Marina are voiced by the same singer/voice actors. And that is the end of part 2. But of course, don't worry, we still have part 3, which is going to be coming soon. How soon? I legit have no idea, but we've got a lot of work to do and a lot of more research to do. So yeah, I'm going to focus on finishing off that Ace Attorney video, and yeah, until then, take care of yourselves. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Thank you, Joski, for that thumbnail. It's really amazing. I really love your art. Please check out Joski's work. I'll leave a link to her Instagram in the description. Yeah, that's about it. Take care of yourselves.